Let me tell you a little bit about what is going to happen this evening. We've had a wonderful day of conversations, but I know that tonight is the session you've all been looking forward to. We're going to have, in a moment, 3 Olympic medal winners on the stage. Fantastic. We're going to, Joan and I are going to be having a conversation with all 3 of them. And then after dinner, or rather after dessert, we are going to have outside a musical concert musical performance by Penny Balzazzi. I hope I've pronounced that right. These curtains will magically open and you can go outside with your glass of wine or your dessert. And please do stay for that musical performance because I know it's going to be very special. So to begin with, so I'll just say that very quickly again in case you didn't hear. We're going to first of all have our 3 wonderful Olympic medalists joining us for a conversation. Then of course we'll have dinner, and then afterwards there will be a musical performance by Penny Baltazzi. Outside there, those curtains will open and you can please do stay and enjoy the music which will start over dessert. But first of all, I'm very excited to invite 3, I think this is a first, isn't it, Nektaria, to have 3 Olympic medalists on the stage at one of our conferences. So please welcome our 3 Olympic medalists, Greek champions. So just to introduce, I'm sure you're familiar with them all, but Lefteris Petrounias, Olympic gold medalist as a gymnast in the 2016 Olympics, 3 times world champion. Katerina Stefanidi, Olympic gold medalist also in Rio in 2016. I thought we were almost going to have a 4th panelist because your son was here, but
we might.
He might join us still, yes. And Emanuele Carales, Olympic bronze medalist. And all 3 of them still performing competing at the highest level, which is fantastic. So, Joan, you kick away with the first question.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Daniel knows I'm an absolute sports fanatic. So for me, this is a highlight, really, of the 3 days. So it's great to have you with us. The first question for all of you really is, what inspired you to take up your sports, when you were young? And specifically, was there a particular person who inspired you to get seriously involved? So shall we start with you, Lefteris?
Yes, of course, and I will say sorry to everyone, but it's the first time that my daughters are watching me live, so I would like to speak in Greek language to answer that. Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Χαίρομαι πολύ που βλέπω μια αίθουσα γεμάτη. Αυτό που ενέπνευσε εμένα ως αθλητή αρχικά, πέραν το ότι ήμουν ένα παιδί που σκαρφάλωνε παντού και οι γονείς μου έπρεπε κάπου να με πάνε για να βγάλω όλη μου την ενέργεια. Βλέπαν ότι ήμουν ένα πολύ active παιδί. Αυτό που είδα από μικρή ηλικία είναι τον Ολυμπιονίκη μας του Σίδνεϊ και της Αθήνας, του Athens 2004, το Δημοσθένιο τον Ταμπάκο, όπου θυμάμαι από πολύ μικρή ηλικία να τον παρακολουθώ, κρεμασμένος κυριολεκτικά από την τηλεόραση και να λέω σε όλους όσους με βλέπαν, τους φίλους μου, τους γονείς μου, ότι θέλω να γίνω σαν και αυτόν. Ήταν το πρώτο μου πρότυπο, υπήρξαν και άλλα στην πορεία, αλλά ήταν αυτός ο οποίος με ενέπνευσε στο να αρχίσω να ονειρεύομαι βλέποντας τους κρίκους.
Thank you. Katerina?
I'm going to speak in English, actually. First, because my husband only understands English, so I feel like that's only fair to him, I almost have a similar but opposite story than Lefteris. I kind of bypassed the club system here in Greece and went straight into the Olympic Stadium to train with the federation coach there. So I walked into a stadium where all of the Olympic medalists at the time and world champions were training. And I think that this has actually been a huge thing in my career because I trained around them, I learned from them, and I realized that they're just normal people that are training and competing at a different level. And I think that has actually really helped me throughout my career because, you know, we have this word in Greek, is protathletismos. It means high-level athletics, high-level sport. But I hate using this word because it means like we're doing something different than other people, and I don't think we do. I think I'm doing exactly the same thing as a girl who is jumping a meter lower. We're probably training equally as hard. We're just doing it at a slightly different level. So I think for me, growing up around these athletes, it almost made it feel possible that I can become one of them. So I couldn't name one like Lefteris did because I grew up around all of them. And I kind of felt like part of that community, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Great. Emmanuel?
Great. Hello, everyone. Of course, for those who don't know, I grew up in a family, in a sports family. My dad and my mom used to do track and field. My dad used to be athletic athlete. My mom used to do the long jump. Of course, growing up, I was lucky enough to get all the to get involved in sports when I was young, from the age of 3. And growing up, I started doing a lot of sports like swimming pool, taekwondo, karate. I was lucky enough to have this foundation in sport, which is very important for young children to get involved with sports, because sports makes you understand your body, makes you understand your capabilities. Of course, sport is the purest thing that you can give to a child, because you can be in a group with full of kids, which it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter the color of your skin, doesn't matter, nothing matters. The only thing that matters is that you are here, you enjoy the same thing, you share the same love and passion. And yes, sport is one of the most important things that my family gave me. But of course, when I was growing up, of course, I was training and with Katerina. I was lucky enough to train with Lefteris as well.
I'm not that much older.
But yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, I never imagined that I would be the athlete that I am now. But growing up, it was 2016. I was in my little house in Pyrgos Ilias, for those who don't know. And I was watching at the Olympic Games. I was 16 back then. And
Again.
I was lucky enough to watch these amazing athletes, Lefteris, of course, winning, and Katerina as well, getting those amazing medals, Olympic gold medals. And me as a young kid, I found a light of hope, and I found people that, of course, I knew, but being able to see those people from this small country of Greece achieving greatness. So I want to say thank you to Katerina and Lefteris that inspired not only me, but the next generation, and not only the next generation of athletes, but the whole country. You know, so thank you so much for inspiring everyone. It's truly an honor being in the panel with you guys. So I truly appreciate every moment. Thank you, guys.
I guess this is more one for Katerina and Lefteris. The Athens Olympics in 2004, was this an influence in you growing up to have the Olympics, the excitement of the Olympics here in Athens?
Go ahead.
Εγώ θυμάμαι να είμαι μέσα στο Ολυμπιακό στάδιο, στο ΆΚΑ, να βλέπω τον συναθλητή μου, καθώς είχαμε και τον ίδιο προπονητή στην πορεία, το Βλάση, το Μάρα, παγκόσμιο πρωταθλητή, να αγωνίζεται 2 μέτρα σε απόσταση από την κερκίδα εκεί που τον έβλεπα. Ήμουνα 14 ετών. Όπως και το Δημοσθένη τον Ταμπάκο, όπως είπα προηγουμένως, να κερδίζει άλλο ένα Ολυμπιακό μετάλλιο. Οι Ολυμπιακοί Αγώνες στην Αθήνα, νομίζω για πάρα πολλούς λόγους, υπήρξαν σταθμός στη χώρα μας και νομίζω πως ενέπνευσαν μια νέα γενιά και μια νέα στρατιά πλέον αθλητών, γιατί η Ολυμπιακή ομάδα, από ό,τι βλέπουμε από Ολυμπιακούς αγώνες είναι ολοένα και πιο μεγάλη, με ολοένα και καλύτερα αποτελέσματα.
Yeah, I actually specifically remember running with the Olympic torch for Athens 2004, and it was so inspiring, and we still have the torch and all the pictures, and it was amazing. And we did go to watch track and field as well. I was also 14. We shouldn't be saying that, right? Just but I was actually not so far from qualifying because I was doing so good at a young age, and then I was nowhere close for Beijing, and I think Athens for me is almost this bittersweet experience because I knew I was starting my career and I knew I would never experience the Olympic Games at home. You know, they're not going to come back during our career. And while I loved it and it was inspiring, and Greece had such a successful Olympic Games, like most countries that hold the Olympics, this is all I remember.
Well, you know, there are those who say it should be the permanent home of the Olympics, but that's another.
There is a whole other discussion, I think.
Joe.
Yeah, question again for all of you, which is at what point in your athletic career did you begin to think that you could achieve Olympic success? And was there a particular incident or moment or person that made you think that you could achieve greatness? Cyrus? All of you, yes.
Εγώ είχα σταματήσει την γυμναστική, παραδόξως, λίγο μετά το 2004 τους Ολυμπιακούς της Αθήνας, γιατί είχα κάποιους τραυματισμούς στους αγώνες μου και το κυριότερο κομμάτι ήταν ότι ένιωσα ότι σταμάτησαν άνθρωποι που είχα στην καρδιά μου και τους είχα πολύ ψηλά να πιστεύουν σε μένα. Ήμουνα ήδη στην εθνική ομάδα. Μετά από 4 χρόνια σχεδόν που ήμουνα έξω από το άθλημα τελείως, δεν ήξερα τι συμβαίνει, αν έχουμε Έλληνες αθλητές, αν υπάρχει ελληνική γυμναστική, είχα μια άρνηση. Συνειδητοποίησα ότι όλο αυτό μου έλειπε πάρα πολύ και επέστρεψα στο άθλημα. Το 2008. Το 2009 πήγα στην πρώτη μου διεθνή διοργάνωση να κάνω κρίκους στο παγκόσμιο κύπελλο του Κατάρ, στην Ντόχα, όπου το challenge της υπόθεσης ήταν ότι ή εσύ θα πας μέσα από το αποτέλεσμα που θα έρθει στην Ντόχα, ή εσύ θα πας στο παγκόσμιο πρωτάθλημα, ή ο Ταμπάκος. Ο Ταμπάκος, ο οποίος ήταν ο άνθρωπος όπου έβλεπα από μικρό παιδί. Οπότε εκεί έγινε το πρώτο flip στην καριέρα μου, το πρώτο switch που βγήκα τρίτος σε εκείνη τη διοργάνωση και ο Δημοσθένης, ο Ταμπάκος, βγήκε πέμπτος. Και εκεί γύρισα στην Ελλάδα, στην σύζυγό μου πλέον και στη Βασιλική και σε διάφορους άλλους αθλητές και είπα εγώ θα γίνω Ολυμπιονίκης. Αφού το έκανα αυτό, λέω θα το κατάφερε και ο Δημοσθένης, άρα θα το καταφέρω κι εγώ. Ήταν το πρώτο μεγάλο σημείο στην καριέρα μου που πραγματικά πίστεψα. Συνεχίστηκε, πέρασα πάρα πολλά μέχρι να φτάσω στο Ολυμπιακό μετάλλιο. Είναι μια ολόκληρη ιστορία, αλλά εκεί ήταν ο πρώτος σταθμός.
Thank you, Katrina.
I mean, I think there's different, like you say, σταθμός, there's different parts of our career that maybe you believed it again, you know, and again and again. And for me, maybe the first time was when I was very young, when I was 13, I started breaking some age group world records. I think the 12, the 13-year-old. Now, to be fair, there was probably not so many 12-year-old girls pole vaulting at the time, but I actually still hold one, so it was decently good. So I think at the time, like breaking world records, I truly believed that, okay, I can continue to develop and become an Olympic champion. But just like both of them, I went through some hard years that I probably completely stopped thinking or believing it. But actually, for me, maybe the one moment I can think about the most is waking up the morning of my competition in Rio in 2016 and saying, today I'm going to win the Olympics.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I mean, for me, of course, when I was growing up, I never imagined that I would be the athlete that I am today. I was, and I still am. I try to enjoy the sport. I try to live every moment. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of, most of the time, almost believe that I could achieve something, but not as great as I have now. But of course, I've dealt with injuries. I've dealt with depression, with racism. But the most important thing for me that I said, okay, now I think that I can do the extra step and try win an Olympic medal or jump over 6 meters. It was the point when I changed my whole team, and when you change your whole team, I changed my whole ecosystem, and that's why when I talk to panels and when I meet a lot of people, when I talk with businessmen or entrepreneurs or athletes as well, it's important to have an ecosystem around you that believes in specific goals. And when you have a team that believes in goals and goes step by step towards the goal, you can achieve amazing things. And even if in training sometimes I didn't feel like training, I wasn't feeling like giving it 100%, I was giving 80%, I was lucky enough to have a team around me that was able to give that extra 20%. So I truly believe of having an important team and building an ecosystem around you that can move towards goals and break more records and doing amazing stuff.
Emmanuel, can I just follow up on that? You talk of a team. How big is a team for a pole vault?
Oh, so I mean, it depends, but of course you see me compete, you see Katerina, you see Lefteris, but there's a whole team around us. We have physios, we have coaches, we have agents, we have people, we probably have 20 people.
Really?
But I have to, so I'm so sorry to interrupt, but for me it's like a 6-in-1 situation. All of those people are my husband. So that's kind of our team, but yes, he does do all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, see, yeah, you're lucky enough that you have 10 for 1.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I mean, I have a big team. I'm lucky enough to work with my dad. My dad is my coach. I have a technical coach as well. I also have a running coach. I have my agents, my whole team that manage our lives because. Our lives as sportsmen, we have a specific goal to be the best that we can be on the court and on the field. So you have to have people around you that can manage the life of an athlete. It's not easy to, our life is not easy. You might see us compete and,
But it's a responsibility for your team as well, because you're performing for your team as well as yourself.
Of course. Of course, yes. That's and that's why you have to have a team around you that believes in you, and when you say that you have a goal, everyone are moving towards that specific goal. Everyone has to be in line in order to achieve that goal, and in order to achieve more goals that you're gonna set with the team.
And that's a big pressure for the athlete as well.
Yeah, pressure. Yeah.
I suppose carry on with you, Emmanuel, and we'll go in the opposite direction. A question about what element that you found most difficult. Was it training regimes? Was it learning new skills? Was it building strength or something else? I mean, I can't imagine, but I'm sure all of you have things that you like doing in your sport and things you don't like doing so much. So what did you find most difficult or challenging?
Yeah, I mean...
and did that change over time?
I'm the kind of person that, an athlete, that I try to find joy in everything that I do. I really want to enjoy myself. I want to be happy, be present, always be positive when I'm when I'm on the field, even if I don't feel as happy and as motivated, I always try to put a smile on my face, and unconsciously I'm becoming happy and I perform better. So for me, psychology plays an important part on my career as an athlete and as a human being. I work, of course, with psychologists, and I work with myself as well. I know when it's the right moment to step back, because, of course, burnouts happen in sports, in business. It's a thing that we all know, so it's important to realize when you have overpushed. It's good to have a step back and watch the picture from one or two step backs in order to take 10 steps up front. So psychology for me is an important thing and a role that plays a very important part in my career.
Katerina?
I will have to agree with Emmanuel. I think, especially in our events, all really pole vault rings, all of it, there is an element of fear, and I think that's really hard to explain to anyone that hasn't really felt that kind, maybe like extreme sports, but now we're trying to perform at like the 1%. And I think, for me, it's impossible to put into words what the pole vaulter goes through when the bar goes up, or when the pole that you're carrying gets longer or thicker or heavier, or it's not going to bend nearly as easy. I just think that there's no words to describe that kind of feeling, and you just have to trust it, and you have to trust it's the right decision, and you have to do the exact same thing, and trust that your body has learned what it needs to do in practice, and you don't need to do anything more. I think the mental part it's so difficult, and for me maybe even a little more. I've studied psychology, and I think for certain reasons I just was so against having a sports psychologist for so many years, maybe because I study it. I think the mental practice part, not just the mental, but actually sitting on the couch and trying to visualize a jump, or trying, to think positive. I think that's so hard, and you have to constantly think about it and turn it on and tell yourself to do it, and it's exhausting, to be honest. It's more tiring than the physical practice. We can all train harder, but the mental practice it's exhausting for me.
Avtaras?
Θα συμφωνήσω με τους προλαλήσαντες. Αρχικά στην ενόργανη γυμναστική, όπως και στα αθλήματα των παιδιών, υπάρχει όσο ανεβαίνει το επίπεδο, ανεβαίνει και το επίπεδο της επικινδυνότητας, οπότε το στοιχείο του φόβου είναι ένα βασικό στοιχείο που πρέπει να μάθεις να το διαχειρίζεσαι και να μάθεις να υποφελείσαι από όλο αυτό. Σαφέστατα, ένας αθλητής από έναν πρωταθλητή, αυτό που τους διαχωρίζει είναι ξεκάθαρα το mental training και το πόσο μπορεί under pressure να αποδώσει τα μέγιστα. Πώς δηλαδή κάνουμε το άγχος από έναν παράγοντα που σε παραλύει σε ένα δημιουργικό αποτέλεσμα. Αφενός και αφετέρου, αυτό που έχει η ενόργανη γυμναστική, το οποίο είναι πάρα πολύ δύσκολο σε σχέση με πολλά άλλα αθλήματα, είναι το ότι ξεκινάς από 5 χρονών, από μια πολύ τρυφερή ηλικία, όπου βασίζεται στις πολύ ώρες προπονήσεις και στην επανάληψη. Οπότε πρέπει να μπεις σε μια διαδικασία, να τα βρεις πέραν από την ομάδα που λένε τα παιδιά, σαφέστατα έχουμε όλη ομάδα και εγώ έχω ομάδα πίσω μου, πρέπει να τα βρεις με τον εαυτό σου και πρέπει να έχεις υπομονή στο να μπορείς να κυνηγάς την τελειότητα. Η ενόργανη είναι ένα balance between difficulty and execution. Και πρέπει να βρεις ακριβώς το τέλειο balance προκειμένου να πετύχεις το σωστό αποτέλεσμα.
And I trained with him in gymnastics.
Eh?
Back then, we κάναμε προπόνηση μαζί. So I was lucky enough as well to train with Lefteris in order to because pole vaulters have to, you see the movement. We have to be behind, do the backflips, do everything. And I was lucky enough.
Gymnast. He's a potential
I
gymnast.
was a potential gymnast. I trained for 2 weeks. Then Lefteris looked at me and said, you better do the pole vaulting.
But your particular discipline requires just incredible strength, as well as this discipline that you talk about. So I don't know in the kind of ranking of difficulty in gymnastics, but I would say that your particular discipline is levels of difficulty would be, very, very high. Would you agree with that?
Never.
Yeah.
Can I ask you I think, Katerina, you went to America for a while I don't know, have you always been in Greece?
No.
And you always been?
Mostly. I mean, we're based in Greece, but we're international travelers.
Yes,
We travel all around the world, we're competing. But yeah, we're
But
based
my
in Greece.
question is that to achieve, well, clearly you achieved the highest level without leaving Greece in your case, but in your case you went to America. So how important was the ability to get the best possible training, not necessarily in your own country?
I don't feel like it had anything to do with training necessarily. I did very well young, and there was a lot of pressure because we come from a small country and there's not too many Olympic champions. There was a ton of pressure on me on several different occasions and for different things. And I needed to leave Greece. It was more about needing to leave Greece than going to America. I was a very good student. I was very fortunate to attend Stanford University, so that was an academic opportunity that I could not say no to. I did not go to America to become a better athlete. I became a better person, I think. I became a better decision maker, and I think that led me to become a better athlete through making better decisions. But I think going to the US completely transformed me as a person, changed how confident I was, how much I believed in myself, what I believed I could potentially do. And I think maybe the biggest and the most important part for us, especially at least in track, is it gives you a stepping stone between the youth championships, like under 18 and under 20 championships where Manolo and I both had gotten medals, and then suddenly you get thrown into the seniors and you can barely qualify for senior championships. And I think for me, America gave me the stepping stone where I was still competing at the highest level, but with other athletes my age and my level, not just being thrown into the seniors and feeling like, how can I ever get from here to here now? But I think just the US and I think my studies also just changed me as a person, and that's what eventually helped the sport part.
Well, all of you have had to cope with adversity, injuries, and other challenges. And were there moments when you came close to giving up? And what got you through that, or who got you through that? Anybody like to take that one?
As I said before, most of us have faced injuries, depression, or things that makes you move away from the sport or take a step back. As I said before, I was lucky enough to build my team, of course, with my doctors, with my family, with my team, with my coaches. And as I said, it's important when you go towards a goal, everyone should be aligned. So yes, I think team plays an important role. For me, it plays one of the biggest roles and caterpillars to my success now. So yes, as I said before, and team for me has played the most important part in my journey.
I think very similar to Lefteris, I also quit pole vaulting a little after 2004. I think it was 2006. I had some issues with weight gain and eventually, essentially became bulimic. So that didn't go very well for a very long time. I think it took me really 10 years to really fix my relationship with food again. But I did quit sport for 8 months, and then after my freshman year at Stanford, where I had a full athletic scholarship, I did not do well at all. I did not get along with the coach very well, so I was trying to find different types of scholarships to continue my studies there without having to pole vault, and luckily the coach changed, so that kind of kept me into the team and into the sport. But yes, I also quit pole vaulting for 8 months and slowly came back to it.
Εμένα πάλι όλη μου η καριέρα ήταν μέχρι τώρα, όλη μου η αθλητική πορεία. Είπα πάρα πολλές φορές τη λέξη, μάλλον είχα πάρα πολλές φορές τη σκέψη ότι θα σταματήσω. Το 2014, μετά από 3 συνεχόμενα χρόνια, εκατοντάδες ώρες προπόνησης έχουν 3 χρόνια, 3 συνεχόμενες 5ες θέσεις σε ευρωπαϊκό πρωτάθλημα που δεν πετύχαινα το στόχο μου και έβλεπα την Ολυμπιακή πρόκριση για το Ρίο να απομακρύνεται. Τα πράγματα στην Ομοσπονδία ήταν δύσκολα, τα οικονομικά, ήμασταν πάρα πολλούς μήνες απλήρωτοι και κάπου εκεί που σκέφτηκα να σταματήσω, τσουπ, ήρθε ο πρώτος μου χορηγός. Εκεί με έσπρωξε λίγο, το μυαλό μου άλλαξε, ο τρόπος σκέψης μου, η ψυχολογία μου που λέμε, όπως είπαμε και στην προηγούμενη απάντηση. Πήρα λίγο μετά το πρώτο μου χρυσό ευρωπαϊκό μετάλλιο. Λίγο πριν το παγκόσμιο πρωτάθλημα που ήταν πρόκριση για Ολυμπιάδα, έφυγε από τη ζωή ο πατέρας μου. 2-3 εβδομάδες πριν. Εκεί ήταν το δεύτερο μεγάλο εμπόδιο που είχα να αντιμετωπίσω. Έχασα τη γη κάτω από τα πόδια μου, είναι 23 χρονών. Και μετά, αφού το αντιμετωπίσαμε και αυτό, με τη γυναίκα μου, με την οικογένειά μου, ήταν όλη η ομάδα δίπλα μου. Βρέθηκε στη διαδρομή μου, τέλος πάντων, μια καταπληκτική ομάδα ανθρώπων που μου έδωσε φτερά. Κάποιοι θέλω να κάνω και μια special αναφορά στον Φάνη τον Ξνταβελώνη. Είναι στην εταιρεία που σηκώνει παιδιά που προσπαθούν να βγουν στην επιφάνεια και να τα βοηθήσει με συνεργασίες, προκειμένου να μπορούν να ανταπεξέλθουν οικονομικά. Μικρή παύση. Το 2018 έκανα ένα τεράστιο χειρουργείο στο χέρι μου που δεν ήξερα αν θα ξανακαταφέρω να επιστρέψω στους κρίκους. Χρειάστηκε να αγωνιστώ με αυτό το χέρι και έφυγα από την Ντόχα κατευθείαν για χειρουργείο και το 2021 χρειάστηκε να αγωνιστώ με τον άλλον όμο για χειρουργείο στο Τόκιο, που εκεί ήρθε ένα χάλκινο Ολυμπιακό μετάλλιο. Ήταν πάρα πολλές φορές που θέλησα να σταματήσω, όμως ο πρωταθλητής στο μυαλό του πάντα βρίσκει ένα κίνητρο και ένα τρόπο να επανέρχεται από την καταστροφή, να το πω και έτσι, και κάθε φορά, στη δική μου την περίπτωση, ήταν κάτι διαφορετικό. Το 2015 θεωρούσα ότι ο πατέρας μου αυτό θα ήθελε να με δει χρυσό Ολυμπιονίκη και τα έσβησα όλα από το μυαλό μου και πήγα σαν ρομπότ να κάνω όλη τη χρονιά δίχως να σκεφτώ τίποτα. Το 2018 σκέφτηκα ότι άλλο ένα παγκόσμιο με κομμένο χέρι θα τα καταφέρω με το χέρι έτοιμο για χειρουργείο, θα τους δείξω εγώ που λέμε. Μετά είπα, δεν έχει ξαναμπεί κάποιος αθλητής στους κρίκους μετά από τέτοιο χειρουργείο, θα είμαι αυτός που θα τα καταφέρω. Κάθε φορά είναι κάτι άλλο. Τώρα πλέον είναι ένα και μοναδικό μόνιμο κίνητρο, τα παιδιά μου, οι μικρές μου κόρες που με βλέπουν και δεν με αφήνουν να σταματήσω.
Well, just very quickly on that point, just because I was going to ask that question. Yeah, you have 2 daughters with your wife, and Katerina, you have young. We just met him earlier, a little boy. You took time out to go and have a baby. Has that changed anything in terms of your attitude or appetite to compete?
I mean, motherhood has taught me a lot. Mostly how many things you can do with one arm that you thought you needed 2. But I don't know, I don't want to say appetite, no. It has helped me focus better because I know that I only get 30 minutes, then I'm going to have to nurse him. Or I would start a practice and then he would start crying and I need to take a 20-minute break in the middle of practice and come back to that. So I think it's made me a better athlete in terms of being able to step in and out of the role of the athlete. And I think it's very important because in pole vault, there's times where you'll take a jump and then you'll take a jump for 45 minutes. So this is a very important ability. But I don't know, like motivation-wise, if it has changed how I feel. I almost maybe the opposite. Like I just want to spend time with him, and sometimes I almost feel guilty that I'm training or competing. And he's around all the time. He's with us because my husband is my coach, so he's right there when we're training. But I can't say that it's necessarily helping me motivation-wise. I think maybe you just realize what we do is important, but really not so important compared to other things.
Joan, maybe one question each in the interest of time, one more question each. My question would be, we have a room here full of people doing lots of different things, professional people mostly, people in business, people in politics, people in the law and so on. What lessons or lesson would you draw from the sporting life that you might think is relevant to other people's lives or to your non-sporting life? What are the you seem to be quite philosophical about your sport, but how do you apply it to other things? Katerina.
I'll go first. I think from my experience, I think nobody knows what you need as an athlete or as an entrepreneur or as a businessman or as a teacher, as a professor, or as a doctor, more than you. You know better than anyone what your body needs and what your mind needs. And I think, especially in sport, we're constantly being told that there is this one way to be successful. Like, there's one model and you have to follow this model. And I would say that 9 out of 10 Olympic medalists that I meet do not follow this model. So I think believe in your intuition, believe in what you know about yourself. That's what makes you special. And I wish I knew that earlier on. I feel like I wasted some years, but you live and you learn. But I think that's the biggest message for me. I think you just have to trust yourself and not follow the path that somebody else did. You have to find your own path, and most likely it's going to be different and not fit into a model that somebody is telling you.
Very good.
I mean, for me, of course, there's not only one way to success. There's different ways to success, and each success is different. For example, one success is to go at nationals. For me, one success is to win an Olympic medal, or for someone else, success is to do something else. It's different. There are different ways, different successes, and what I would say and what I usually say when I speak to people and to young athletes and to businessmen, it's you just enjoy the process, enjoy the path. It's not going to be easy, but some people, a lot of people, and us athletes, most of us, we have a goal. For example, go at the Olympic Games and win a medal, and we think so much about this that we forget the whole process, the training, the good days, the bad days, the people that you meet during the whole process of achieving greatness. So I would say enjoy the process. Of course, the road is not easy, but if you enjoy it, you will look back and you will say, I did a good job. I moved towards my goals, and even if I didn't achieve my goals, I was able to get and meet and do so many great things that I wasn't able to do if I was only focusing on the specific goal.
Εγώ θα συμφωνήσω με τον Εμμανουήλ. Το σημαντικότερο σε μία πορεία είναι όλη αυτή η διαδρομή, το ταξίδι, ο προορισμός, όπως και να έχει, θα τον απολαύσεις, ακόμη και να μην είναι αυτό που θέλεις. Αν έχεις απολαύσει το ταξίδι, το μεγαλύτερο μέρος διαδρομής θα είναι όμορφο. Αφενός και αφετέρου, πάντα αυτό που έχω στο μυαλό μου είναι ότι δεν υπάρχει κάτι που δεν μπορείς να το καταφέρεις. πάντα η σκληρή δουλειά είναι πάνω από το ταλέντο. Έχω φτάσει 35 χρονών και μπαίνω πρώτος στο γυμναστήριο και φεύγω τελευταίος ακόμη και τώρα, παρότι είμαι πολύ μεγαλύτερος από όλους τους υπόλοιπους συναθλητές μου. Νομίζω είναι τα σημαντικότερα.
Well, I was going to ask something short and sweet, which would be, what advice would you give to a young person? But I think starting out in sport, I think you answered that already. So I'll ask another one more, maybe more tricky question, because you're all still competing, at a very high level. And I guess all of us, in whatever we're doing, at some point we need to know when it's time to stop doing what we've been doing and do something else. And is that something, obviously you have not given any thought to this, but is something that you've given any thought to, and do you see that as a challenge? Is it something that scares you?
Να ξεκινήσω. Βασικά, να είμαι ειλικρινής, όταν έκανα τα παιδιά ήταν το πρώτο challenge όταν έκανα οικογένεια, για το να δω αν θα μπορώ, γιατί είμαι ένας active μπαμπάς. Κάνω τα πάντα, μαγειρεύω, πλένω, τα καθαρίζω, τα κοιμίζω, κάνω τα πάντα και ήθελα να το απολαύσω όλο αυτό, οπότε ήθελα να δω πώς θα ανταπεξέλθω σε όλο αυτό. Αυτό ήταν το πρώτο challenge, το ξεπεράσαμε. Μετά, το δεύτερο challenge σε όλο μου το μυαλό και στην πορεία μου είναι είμαι αθλητής, τελειώνοντας τον αθλητισμό, τι κάνω. Και αυτό ήταν η πρώτη μου μεγάλη σκέψη που με προβλημάτισε πάρα πολύ μετά το πρώτο μου χειρουργείο, που υπήρχε στο μυαλό μου το what if. Άμα δεν τα καταφέρω, τι θα γίνει. Οπότε εκεί μαζί με τη Βασιλική δημιουργήσαμε το άλλο μας παιδί, που λέγεται Gymnastic Stars. Είναι μια ακαδημία ενόργανης γυμναστικής. Έχουμε 1.500 παιδιά και ευελπιστούμε να έχουμε ακόμη περισσότερα. Και ο στόχος μας είναι να βγάλουμε τους επόμενους πρωταθλητές. Ήδη τα πρώτα μας παιδιά βρίσκονται στην εθνική ομάδα, μετά από 5 χρόνια δουλειά σε 6. Οπότε δεν με προβλημάτισε ιδιαίτερα. Κάθε φορά, ό,τι και να παρουσιαζόταν, ήθελα να δω αν μπορώ να το κάνω overcome το εμπόδιο και να συνεχίσω να είμαι αθλητής. Έγινα μπαμπάς, συνέχισα να είμαι αθλητής, τα κατάφερα. Έγινα επιχειρηματίας, συνέχισα να είμαι αθλητής, τα κατάφερα. Μπήκα στην Ομοσπονδία, είμαι διοικητικό μέλος στην Ομοσπονδία της Γυμναστικής. Μπορώ να ανταπεξέλθω σε όλα αυτά που χρειάζονται, τα καταφέρνω, συνεχίζω και είμαι αθλητής. Αυτή τη στιγμή, να είμαι ειλικρινής, νιώθω αθλητής 2,5 ώρες το απόγευμα και 1,5 ώρα το πρωί. Τις υπόλοιπες ώρες της ημέρας, πλην 6 ωρών που κοιμάμαι, δεν είμαι αθλητής.
Thank you. Last word. Last word, Catherine.
My experience through sport was realizing that the true power of sport is not about developing better athletes, but about developing better people and developing communities. So exactly like lifters, my husband and I have also created a little pole club in our small mountain town in Colorado, where we live part of the year. And it has been very, very rewarding, because you don't measure success by the height of the bar, even in pole vault. You measure success more broadly, like the shy child that becomes more confident, or the teenager who realizes that resilience is more important than immediate success. We have come to really realize how important it is to build a kind of institutions, essentially, that can continue to help communities for a long time from now. So we also have, like Luther said, something built for the future. Additionally, and with the same belief in mind, one of the most rewarding things that I do right now is help young Greek athletes kind of navigate their way and their path to American universities. And for me, this is so much more than just helping somebody earn a scholarship. It's about expanding opportunity, essentially. It's about expanding human potential and showing those young athletes that they don't have to choose between elite sport and academics. So while it's hard to really know when to stop, I feel like there's already so much to do after sport that it doesn't worry me at all. Additionally, I had a year off for my pregnancy and I enjoyed it to the fullest. So I am not worried about when sport ends, to be quite honest. I'm enjoying it year by year, and I think we've achieved what we ever dreamt of already. So it's now more about truly enjoying not just the process, but the whole thing, honestly. Even if we have European Championships this summer, even if I don't make it to the final, like I get to go to European Championships and my son gets to watch me. So I think it's a very different experience of enjoying the sport now.
Yeah.
After 30 is year by year.
Anyway.
Yeah, and about me, I'm still 26 years old. I know that I hope to have a lot. Hi, Katerina, your son. Yeah, as I said, I hope I will have more years of being able to, to achieve my goals. But still, when I was, so a small story. 2019, I had a big injury, and I was gonna be out of sports for around 5 to 10 months. That's what they said, the doctors. And with a blink of an eye, I said, okay, now what? I mean, I was the athlete that I was already a developing athlete. I was already going into big competitions. I was going towards a goal. And someone took it away from me. And I said, okay, I had to focus a bit to see what. And that's what I thought, what will happen when I'm done with sports? So I was lucky enough with the little money that I already had when I was developing as an athlete. I was lucky enough to get into a private school, into the American College of Greece. I was able to learn and see how's life, and prove to myself that I can become more than an athlete. I can be a good student. I could be a good investor, a good businessman. I will be able to to be in panels and speak, and share my story and be a storyteller and a spokesman. And yeah, I was lucky enough to get my degree. Of course, during my sport career, like Lefteris and Katerina. I created my sports club. It's called Fly Academy. Its core DNA, it's pole vaulting, of course, but we support all the other sports as well. And on its DNA, what I would like is to give back to the community, being able to show to little kids and young athletes how pure our sport is. Getting the right foundations, helping kids that don't have the resources to join the clubs. Of course, we will have with scholarships as well. But it's important to live when you're done with sports. All the medals, all the plaques, and everything will go on a drawer. And what will stay is your footprint that you leave in this community. And when I'm done with sports, I want to be able to look back and say, okay, I did my sport career, but I also want to leave something bigger than sports. So that's what I think is important for young athletes and for athletes as well, and people to think, to give back to the community and give back to your people. Thank you.
So I think we'll have to leave it there, but I would say that it's clear from this discussion that you're not only outstanding athletes, you're also remarkably insightful thinkers, and you've shared some extraordinary insights with us all this evening. We've been very lucky to hear from you. Thank you so much, all three of you, and we wish you great success in your sports and beyond.
Thank you.